those sceneries that you guys just saw are all from our beautiful Gio Mangrove Forest, or in another name, rừng xác. Gio is the only sea district of Ho Chi Minh City. It is like an island that is surrounded by rivers and by the East Sea. This forest is located about 45 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City, which is home for 200,000 birds and over 60 different species. Don't you see how magnificent our mangrove forest is? However, it didn't look like this before. This is the Gio Mangrove Forest in 1975. Completely primary forest and used to be extremely rich with flora and fauna in its ecosystem. During the Vietnam War, the forest was chosen to be the military base for the Viet Cong soldiers and became a threat to the American military. So what did the Americans do? They came up with a plan to destroy this forest completely by using defoliants and herbicide sprays. Sac was then soon to be called the Dead Land. Under instructions from the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee back in 1978, locals were encouraged to plant mangroves in the Gio Forest. They were basically advised that the more you plant, the better it is. These efforts paid off in 1991 when the government designated Gio to be an environmental conservation site. In January 2000, the UNESCO admitted the forest to its World Network of Biosphere Reserves and took control of its management. This 30,000 acre piece of land in the Gio district, less than 60 kilometers east of Ho Chi Minh City, is now an essential feature of the area and a vital part of the ecosystem. And yet, despite the efforts of everyone that puts in to preserve this area, the forest is still dying in places from natural causes. The Gio Mangrove Management Board suspect landslides and lightning strikes as being the primary culprit, with pets additional yet less significant menace. attending a recent seminar to discuss measures to save the mangroves. Participants were shocked to learn that a straggling 60% of the forest has died. At this time, humans were blamed for the destruction of over 25% of the forest. The constructions of road near the area in 2002 interfered the supply of water to some areas in the forest, resulting in a shortage of some sections and an oversupply to others. Shrimp farming has also played an active role in the destruction of the forest, with close to 1,000 families overcrowding an area of 3,000 hectares with enclosures and farm irrigation systems. Gio Mangrove, the vice head of the Gio Mangrove Management Board, recommended immediate actions to be taken to protect the forest. He believes the solution is to isolate areas that are infested with pests, then clear out the dead trees to prevent any further spread throughout the forest. He proposes an additional measure to be taken, including the planting of different species of trees so as to diversify the forest and to utilize the nutrients that are in the soil. The original program, designed in 1978, did not correctly calculate the density of the mangroves or anticipate their rate of growth, nor did they consider whether other types of trees would be best suited to the soil in order to balance the ecosystem. Seminar participants felt that the Ho Chi Minh City's People Committee should revoke its 1999 decision to restrict the thinning of the mangroves in the forest. Further suggestions included the digging of canals in shrimp farm areas to include water flow and bring needed nutrients to the mangroves. Studies also indicate that the area is an extremely sensitive ecosystem, and any changes to the forest should be conducted under strict supervision. With so many suggestions and recommendations made, you would think that officials would be hard-pressed to choose an appropriate measures to test. This, however, is not the case, as none of the proposed solutions can be implemented due to restrictions placed in the Gio Mangrove Forest. With the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee originally responsible for the forest protection decisions, management is now in the real quandary because of the new United Nations status. As the area is a part of the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, regulations dictate that the forest should be kept intact and the committee should not intervene. Now, only time will tell if the Gio Mangrove Forest can survive this bureaucratic nightmare and regain its once proud status.